What's up guys, WOOO here, and I'm back once again with another Division 2 build video, and this is Christmas Eve, so I have to deliver a little bit of bang for my buck, and I have to go boom boom boom, explodey time. Yes, it is my payload build for Christmas. This is something I've not delivered before. I've never used payload, simply because it is very situational. And when it comes to heroic content, when it comes to Black Tusk, they have an abundance of, you guessed it, pesky enemy assets. We're talking RC cars, we're talking drones, and again, once you destroy those bad boys, you will get an extra 50% explosive damage for 15 seconds. So with this build, I've tried to center around that and stack as much explosive damage on this build as possible to really get a lot of bang for my buck. And yes, it really works, and as you can see in the gameplay, it delivers a huge boom. And I've tested this in heroic content many times, and it is awesome. Yes, you're squishy, I get it, and there's no vendor reset pieces here to make it look, you know, really good. This is just a build that I've put together strategically and made this very viable for PvE. Heroic content, you will deliver a lot of bang for your buck with this boom payload build. Guys, check the build out. What's up guys, I hope you're all having a woo Christmas, and I'm back with another Division 2 build video, and this is bringing boom to the room with this really strong payload build for PvE. You're going to get a lot of bang for this because you're stacking as much explosive damage as possible on the build. Not to mention you're rolling the Pestilence. The Pestilence is, in my eyes, so powerful in PvE because you will garner so much damage from the fart cloud. You are MVP. Simple as that. This build synergizes really well. I'm having a lot of fun with this build, and I wanted to showcase it to you now on the eve of Christmas. And yes, take a look at this build. I'm loving it. Guys, this is my 5-4-11. Yes, 5 offensive, 4 defensive, 11 utility build. Demolitionist is the go-to specialization. For me, it is non-negotiable. You need that 25% explosive damage. That will pay dividends on this build. You will get that happen so often. You'll get it proc all the time because, yes, you're rolling Seeker Mines, and it just works. So Demolitionist. Technician, yeah, if you want to go high armor and maybe a bit more weapon damage, maybe. But guys, you want that explosive boom. That's what's going to give you the bang for your buck, the extra kick. Is definitely Demolitionist, so go down that route for sure. Now, we'll go through the gear. Firstly, I've got 24.6k base damage on my Pestilence, 605 RPM, 262.4k armor, 27k health, 2982 skill power. And that unlocks all the mods that I need to make this build tick where possible. Now, as you can see, this is... You know, some people will say it just looks quite ordinary, but once I go through it, you can see why it really synergizes quite well. So the mask is Charlotte Industries Corporation, brand set 1 of 3, and that is because I'm using the explosive damage on the build, and that's needed. You're going to get a lot of bang with this. So China Light, somewhere on the build, make sure you have one piece. Attributes, damage to elite to 51%, and 19% skill haste. The talent is destructive, and that, again, that is just a no-brainer. You need that somewhere on your build. I have it on my mask. Now, the chest piece, what the build is centered around is this Gilligard brand set, which is 5% total armor. The attributes on here is 14.5% total armor, 11.5% headshot damage, 772 skill power, which I've put on the build, and the talent Payload. Destroying an enemy's asset grants plus 50% explosive damage for 15 seconds. Again, that works really well. The key with this build is try and get your skill haste as good as possible, so you can get your Seekers back and tick in as often as possible. Or, again, just deliver 2 explosive skills that will get the extra bit of damage that, again, really rinses through NPCs. Even in heroic content, it just melts them. Now, again, you need 4 or less defensive stats to use this particular talent. So guys, Payload, well, this particular gear set piece, or brand set piece may I add, has already, as you can see, 1, 2 and 3 defensive stats. So I have to be very, very careful where I use the 4th. So again, trying to get this working exactly how I want does take a little bit of time to make sure you are harnessing as much power from this build. Now, my mods, skill power with explosive damage, again, try and stack as many explosive damage mods as possible. It pays dividends, trust me. And 2 armor explosive resistance mods with total armor of 4%. And the holster. The holster is Alp Summer Armament, and that's given me 20% skill haste, 10% skill power, 7, 3, 8 skill power, and precise, which is 15% headshot damage. You could use devastating. That might be quite good. It depends how you want to play. I've gone for precise because I want to get that extra headshot damage. Especially, again, as you see, there's a bit of headshot damage on this build already on the chest piece. So this is something, again, I do recommend on your piece at some stage. Again, it is entirely up to you. PC, yes guys, precise is awesome. Console, again, depends on your aim. If you have decent aim, then yes, stack it and watch them heads pop. And in terms of the mods, there's utility, skill power, reload speed, and explosive damage. I need that explosive damage again, so I'll take that. And weapon damage, LMG damage as well. So this is a decent holster for me and how I'm using this build. The Kneepads. 511 tactical, which is that 5% protection from elites, given I'm a tad squishy, that will help. The major attribute is armor, and again, this is where I've used that 4th piece of defensive. Now, I'm going for that armor because I am the feather in the wind, I am that really soft, shrunken violet, 262k armor, so that 10% or 9.5% to be exact, it does help. So that's something, again, to bear in mind once building this, is where you're going to put that 4th stat. And I've had it on the knee pads because I want that armor. And, of course, hard-hitting damage to elites, 25%. Yeah, it's got to be somewhere on the build, and I've got it on my knee pads. Now, the mod is skill power, increased burn, increased shock. As you can see, the mod is 177. And I'm using that just because it gets me to that 2982, and I think I've got a Firefly mod which is 2981, so it just about sneaks above it, so I'll take that. Thank you very much. Now the gloves are the Petrov Defense Group brand set. Now that is that 10% LMG damage, 12% LMG damage again, 4% assault rifle damage, and 102 skill power. Perfect Terminate, which depleting an enemy's armor grants plus 40% skill damage for 15 seconds. Kills obviously refresh this, and you need 5 or more. Now with this, I've opted for Perfect Terminate because the BTSU gloves will again take me over that, again, that 4 defensive stats. You can go for that if you so wish. That is entirely up to you. As you can see, I've got these now. It will just push me over just a little bit, which is a shame. By all means, you could take that away. You could put the BTSU gloves on if need be and get a utility knee pad. That may help, yes, and you'll get a lot of more bang for your buck, potentially, but I do want to deal some damage as well. And the problem is, if I'm going to lose this 12% from the gloves and potentially 10% from the Petrov Defense Group, then I'm losing that 22% damage, and that's something to bear in mind. I've opted for this. This gives me that more all-round survivability. 1, the Seekers will wreck, and 2, my weapon doesn't shoot marshmallows. It shoots actual bullets, so this helps immensely. Especially in a firefight, when, again, BTSU gloves, you don't win. With that extra 22% weapon damage, it helps. So that's something to bear in mind once building. But again, it's up to you. The backpack is Alp Summer Armament, and again, skill power, skill haste. As my attributes, the talents, perfect tech support. Kills by active skills and explosives grant plus 30% skill damage for 10 seconds. And that's nice. Again, that's going to get me that extra bit of damage for my Seekers to blow shit up. Capacitive, I don't really need it on the build, but again, this is the best backpack I have, so it is what it is. Now, the utility mod is skill power, headshot, kill XP, explosive damage, and skill power, grenade damage, and yes, explosive damage. Now the weapons. The primary weapon is, it's the Pestilence, 24.6k base damage. We know what the Pestilence does by now. We know what the talents are. This weapon is super cool. It gives me so much utility in the field. Just, again, put enemies under the Pestilence, or as I say, that debuff, which is great. Deliver Plague of the Outcast, and then for simple as, you've got the DPSs that will take these down very, very quickly. But with this build, you will hit very, very hard. And as you see in the footage anyway, you are hitting very strong, given, yes, the headshot damage that's tacked onto the build. And the mods, rate of fire, weapon handling, stability. Again, they are the fixed, baked-in mods. By all means, if you don't want to go for this, you can go for a different weapon. That's up to you. You can go for the AR, for the extra health damage to Seekers. That's cool. That's something, again, that's completely up to you guys. I've opted for this because, again, Pestilence is the Pestilence, guys. It is. It's awesome. But the AR, yeah, will do a bit more damage with the Seekers. That's correct. But also, again, you can stack some more damage to elites on the build. So, again, it's up to you. This is a template. This is what I'm rolling with, and I'm rocking and rolling. That's why I wanted to share it this way. Now, the secondary is a military P416. I'm using that because of Rooted. Well equipped and in cover. All skill damage and healing is increased by 25% for 10 seconds. Buff is lost when exiting cover. Can occur once per 60 seconds. If you have the KSG shotgun, then yes, slap that on there for the extra, I think it's 5%, as in perfectly rooted. Now, the sidearm is the Demolitionist sidearm, which is this sexy baby here, the Dice Roll Special. Finisher, I don't need that, is what it is, so screw that. I'm using it because it has 2 holstered talents. And these 2 holstered talents are obviously better than 1. And one of them is in Rhythm, which is awesome. Well equipped, enemy kills have a 5% chance to refresh active skill cooldowns. Can occur once every 60 seconds. So again, that's nice to have, and that's not just with your skills, it's also with your weapons. Wascally, while holstered, you are able to resist 1 ensnare effect. When you do, you remain immune for 5 seconds and can occur once every 60 seconds. Again, I'm using that again because it has 2 holstered talents. Now, we'll take a look at the skills. First skill is something a bit different for me, the Burst of Firefly. I'm using this because, I like blowing stuff up, and it's a good alternative. The key with this is get it in quickly. Don't sit back and wait until everyone's spamming Seekers. Throw this initially. You will have an immense boom with this. It is awesome. I have a lot of fun with this. Solo is great. He's really, really strong. In a group, it helps with the crowd control. So something to bear in mind if you're going to use this is, again, people will roll with Seekers. People will spam Seekers. So then this is something to consider if you're going to roll with this. But I like it. I really, really do. And in terms of the mods, there's speed, skill haste, and more skill haste. Again, to let me deliver this every 11.5 seconds. You can go for max targets to get it up to about 6 or 7. However, again, it doesn't have as much value for me. I prefer, again, more skill haste and speed to get it out quicker. Up to you guys. It's always up to you. Now, the Seeker Mine. Seeker Mine is the Cluster Seeker Mine, 17.1 second cooldown. Again, could be better. 9 mines I've gone for. Damage is 465,934. And in terms of the mods, they are skill haste, damage, and 6 extra mines. Now, in terms of the stats, we know what the weapon and gear talents are. Now, there is 42% LMG damage on here, which again is good for a skill build. That's good. It is really good, and that's why I like using the Perfect Terminate, because that gets it from 20% to 42%. So I'm not shooting rice or beans. I'm actually shooting bullets, and it does hurt the enemies, and it does have a lot of bang for the buck. And given you've got 76% damage to elites, that helps. And also you've got that 87% explosive damage, and again, that's awesome. That's really, really good. And another way how you could roll with this build, if you wish, use an AR, then use the Merciless, and that will tack on really nicely, given you've got Payload as well. So that's something to bear in mind if you want to diversify the build. We know what the talents are. You can see 7.26 explosive resistance and protection from elites. Health is, again, a little bit squishy, guys. It really is. But again, You're going to be in cover a lot of the time with this build, and you've got a little bit of armor that will just kind of keep you through. Just play tactically, and you will laugh with this build. Skill haste isn't the best at 56%. I'd like a little bit more, but it is what it is. And guys, that is the build. I'm loving this in heroics. Really am. I'm finding it an absolute breeze, a lot of fun, and as you've seen in the footage and the numbers at the end, that it is really, really good. It is a really good build to use because the build synergizes. As always, it's a template. You can use this and try and get some more damage output from it, and you can. That's for sure. I'm rolling this, and this is what I find suits me and my playstyle. But again, each to their own. But I'm giving you a template. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, drop a like. If you want to see more Division 2 content, please smash the sub button. And guys, a Merry, Merry Christmas. Peace.